Sorry,
We're live.
I jumped the gun.
You're no problem,
We're
man.
live.
All right, everybody. Hey, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr., and we're here for the Ask Junior portion of the show. As you can tell, I'm not in the studio. My kids are on spring break, so trying to enjoy some time with them. But TJ and the guys, they're there. We've had a great show talking about Phoenix, talking about my national championship with the UNC 49ers beating TJ's Michigan Wolverines. Is that even?
Are
TJ's
we live?
A four,
Are we live?
We're live,
yeah.
TJ.
That's good.
TJ's a 4-time champion. Let's give him his flowers. He's good.
5 times soon.
5 times soon. All right. But Ask Junior is brought to you by Xfinity, and NASCAR fans, now you can get the speed you need on and off the track with Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Mobile customers now get exclusive access to Wi-Fi speeds of up to a gig in millions of locations nationwide, and it's nationwide coverage that you know will always come through in a clutch. Take NASCAR on the go with Xfinity Mobile. They're the proud premier partner of NASCAR. And, yeah, we're excited that they're supporting us here at Dirty Mo Media. And, Andrew, you got any good questions for us today? I hope you do.
We do. We have a lot of good ones. Rob in the YouTube chat starting off with Go Blue, TJ. That's for you.
No, don't not read any of those.
Oh, sorry. Well, too late. I did. Dale, this is actually follow-up from last week, and I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, and I'm going to text it to the three of you guys just so you can all see it. But someone found a yearbook, the yearbook that you were looking for from last year's.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ben Riddle
Surprise.
said he found his Southview yearbook. He
Damn.
got those from his uncle, who was in Kelly's class, and there's a bunch of pictures of people that were in your class. So for those watching, I'll retweet it on mine just so everyone can go see it. Or if here you can see it right here on the camera. So there's Dale. You can see Dale's right.
Hell yeah,
there.
brother.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Do you recognize any of the faces?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh.
So is this bringing back memories? Like what do you remember about some of these people?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I just now looking at it for the first time. That's very blurry. But let's see. I wonder why it has me and Kelly together.
I'll hold it up to
Because-
the camera again so y'all can see it.
Well, because me and her were 2 grades apart.
Did you fall? Did you get held back at any point?
Well, she would have had to been held
yeah,
back.
I mean, she's
Dummy.
Oh,
good
Do the
lord.
math. Yeah, come on, man.
We'll edit that
What
out.
an idiot. What an idiot.
You're just so smart. You moved up.
Yeah, there you go. It looks like they just did the whole school by last name. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of fans that reached out, we had a fan message us, Dale. They got one of your Panini cards that was signed by you and your daughter.
Did they?
Oh.
Yes, Michael. Name
What'd you say?
Michael Mataresi or something like that. He received one of your Panini cards that has you and your daughter's writing on it. So,
Yep. Y'all broke up there for a second, but I have let I think I've let Isla and Nicole sign about 2 or 3 of those. So I'm glad that somebody found one. And I wonder if that makes it different, maybe more valuable.
I
Maybe
think-
just a
I think so.
well,
Yeah.
imagine
A
if your
Nick-
daughter
maybe
becomes
a-
famous too on her own.
Maybe maybe just a nickel more. One just a little bump.
They're selling it. Yeah, they're selling it for $10.05 because of it.
Yeah. So I'll have to look at these pictures, but unfortunately, it looks like they literally put the entire school in alphabetical order, regardless of grade. So there's like,
Oh, so you're gonna have to sift through.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
You don't look
yeah,
the same
yeah.
age as a couple of these.
Me and Kelly are side by side, and we're 2
Yeah.
grades apart. But
Yeah, you don't look the same age.
but I appreciate you, Ben. Dude, man, this is what I wanted.
How many
I
people
think
were?
that's so cool.
How many people were in that school? You said it was
Oh,
small, right?
It was very small.
Yes, that's probably why they.
It's so funny. These kids.
That's pretty neat.
My hair is something serious, man. Good
Yeah, I'll show it
Lord.
one more time.
I see a bass player. I see the guy that calls you about your extended warranty.
Oh man. It's a pretty interesting character. this. I don't know, man. I need that book. I need to borrow it so I can photo.
You look mad.
So you can copy
You look
it.
like you're mad in your picture. Like, hurry up, take this
Man.
picture.
Dude. I was jamming. I was jamming to some Bon Jovi in my head.
Yeah, you know what you were probably doing? Hiding that PlayBoy.
yeah. This was right after you got in trouble for it.
I think for some reason I remember that Charles Davis looks familiar.
Are you on the second tweet? The second?
I'm on my page, but you asked me if there were some people that I remember. But anyways, yeah, we can dig into this. I'll see if I.
Yeah, take a look at it, and maybe next week on Ask Junior, you can tell us a little bit more. We'll just keep it going. It's our
Thank
our
you, Ben. I
Southview-
appreciate. That's the great thing. I got to say, that's the great thing about social media. I mean, there is a lot of shit about social media that we don't love, but for all of its garbage and struggles and arguments and fighting, there's these moments where you're like, this is why I have it, and this is what's great about it. And there's like-minded people out there that just want to give you a hand, or sometimes I've used social media to get feedback or help on a project or something like that. And you're going to get people that'll make a joke or clown a little bit, but somebody's going to tell you the information you're looking for.
Absolutely. Shout out to someone in the YouTube chat. I miss your name, but I saw hello from New Zealand. It's like 3 a.m. there right now for him. So that's
damn
pretty
right.
cool. Yeah, that's
Hell
pretty
yeah.
cool. This next question coming from Mads. They're asking about Wyatt racing at Hickory this past weekend. Did you get a chance to talk to him after the race?
Yeah, I did. I called him. I had taken my girls on a little trip, and so I was with them and didn't get to go to the racetrack to see Wyatt compete. But he was driving a car that Corey Day raced for us about a year ago. Corey took the car to Hickory, and we ran double 40s, and he won one of those. So it's a good little race car, but it's several years old, but it's still a good competitive car. Wyatt has been teasing running some limited stuff, and his dad LW has been a little hesitant for him to do that because he's so young. He's still 12, 13 years old. And so, but there's kids that age that are racing in pro late models and winning in pros and supers. And so, or late model stocks as well. So, anytime a young kid that age wins in one of those cars, I'll quickly text LW and go, look, this kid can do it. Get Wyatt in our car. But finally, we took him, and he went and tested a couple times, felt pretty comfortable. LW was confident that he could go out there and do it. It was a very neat moment because Kelly raced there in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad, my dad, Dale Earnhardt, raced there in the 70s. And Ralph raced there in the 50s. And Ralph won so much at Hickory that they put a bounty on him, and then they eventually banned him from competing at the track. And he wasn't even allowed to go. And so,
What do you mean a bounty?
I mean,
If you win, they try to get others to come in and beat him.
yeah, if you beat Ralph, you got an extra $1,000, something like that. And so that didn't work, and then they just outright told him not to come back. And so they eventually lifted that ban after about 4 or 5 years. I've got the information. I haven't really looked into it. I got all of the information back at my house about the timeline of that. But so I'm a little rough with it. But Ralph was, my dad will tell you, and I think you'll see this in the new Earnhardt series that we have coming with our new project. But Dad will tell you that Ralph was the best driver out of the family, in the whole family. And so that whole, the idea that racetrack has survived to allow for that to happen is a cool thing, and that it's still functioning and successful today. And so pretty special. Wyatt has no clue. He has no understanding of how monumental that is for our family, or even his mother, or LW.
Huh.
But he got out there, man, and he had a good. I told him, I called him before the race, and I said, "It's your first race, no pressure. I don't care where you finish. All I care about is that you cross the finish line. Don't crash. Don't end your day early. Don't run into the side of somebody and tear your car up." So he's out there running, and he's running like third and fourth, and it looked like he was just going to finish there. There was a good distance between all the cars. They had some late yellows that positioned him to be able to go for it at the end, and he almost won. So he got a little closer. He got a little sniff of that lead or the opportunity to win the race, and got pretty aggressive at the end. But he still came home with a car in one piece, finished all the laps, and I was real proud of that.
That is awesome. So you say he doesn't really know the magnitude of it?
No, he's a kid. He
Yeah.
doesn't need, and it's not a. I mean,
And maybe that's almost good because that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
there's no way for him. No, there's no way for him to understand that.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. He's better than you think, you know. And I mean, I've watched him race dirt forever, and it's hard for me to watch a dirt race and understand what's good and what's okay. Like, I can watch an oval asphalt race, and I'll see tiny little details that help me understand that this driver is just slightly better than this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I could sit here right now and I could confidently handicap the talent in the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, Truck Series. I won't do that because I don't want to tell you who I don't think's a good driver. But
That was my next question.
yeah, I'm not going to ever do that. But like, I can do that. I can sit there and watch an asphalt race and pretty much can tell you this guy's a better driver. He's just a better driver. And I can't do it on dirt. So like, Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell, I bet they can watch a dirt race and go, yep, this guy's special.
Yeah.
And the guy in this car is a little better than the guy in this car. I can see him doing X, Y, and Z. I can't see that on dirt. So that's all Wyatt's race. So I didn't really know just really how good he was. He's done pretty good on dirt. Had a lot of success, won a driller and a couple other things, so. But he got in that car and man, he rolled the bottom, turned the corner. I mean, he missed a few corners and pushed up and ran wide a couple times, but honestly, he did 1,000,000 times better than I did in my first race in a car of that type. And so I think that he may be starting off, he may be a bit better than I was.
Yeah. That is really cool. You mentioned that Earnhardt doc, which is going to be on Prime coming out soon, right? Have you been able to see any of it? That question, I think, is from a few weeks ago from Joey, who's actually asking about that. So that kind of plays into what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have seen all 4 episodes. They're still working on all of that, and it's something.
Really?
I'll just say that. And there was a documentary. There's really only one great Dale Earnhardt documentary that in my mind has ever been made, and that's the Dale documentary that McGee voiced over, or McGee wrote it. I think Paul Newman voiced it. And I thought, for anybody that wanted to know anything about Dale Earnhardt, the Dale doc was the one that I would hand to them and say, don't watch anything else. Nothing else compares. This right here is what you need to know everything. This goes a little bit deeper, way deeper. This goes way deeper into. This might take you as far as you've ever been into what it would be like to actually have been in the same room with the guy, lived with him, been his son. I mean, it's real personal. It gets into like who he was as a human being, and a lot of things have always really just celebrated the shell, the man in black, the stats, the championships, the wins, the success, the whole, the persona, and that's what the Dale doc does to to the fullest. It celebrates how badass of a race car driver this guy was. But this documentary that we're doing with the folks on Prime is much more personal, and several parts of it, man, was really hard to watch. So
Really? Wow.
yeah. So but it's we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much, but I'm really anxious to see the response to it, I guess.
You're getting me excited about it. I just that teaser alone, I'm getting pumped.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in the chat, by the way, are
It's
saying
for-
Dale is an amazing movie. The
It
one
is.
that the one
Well,
McGee-
I think that this complements the Dale doc in the best way, because the Dale doc gives you the Man in Black, the Intimidator, the 7-time champion. This one is more about the who he was on the inside, and how we sort of expound on that. And man, I mean, it's just really emotional. The whole thing's very emotional. It's four-part series. They're all about an hour apiece, and it was hard to get all the stuff into such a small window, but they're working really hard to put together the best product they can, and I'm pretty confident that people are going to enjoy what they see.
Man, I'm pumped.
There was so much stuff in there that I had never seen.
Wow.
So so there's a lot of stuff in there that Dad being himself, and most of the stuff that we see about Dad, he knows the camera's there, and he's got it turned on.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, they've got him in a lot of areas where he forgets the camera's there, or he doesn't know the camera's there, and you get to hear and see who he really was when the cameras weren't on. And there's some other stuff with Ralph that I didn't know existed. I thought there was only this one little clip of Ralph Earnhardt talking. And it's the interview where he won at Charlotte, and Chris Economaki's interviewing him after the sportsman race that he won, or modified race he won at Charlotte. And so that was all that I thought existed in the whole world. If I wanted to hear Ralph's voice and hear his mannerisms, that was it, this little tiny clip. But they found some more stuff that I didn't know that was out there. And so,
how do they find that? That's crazy.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're damn good.
That is.
There's some stuff of my childhood. There's of us as kids that I just forgotten about or don't remember being available. And they told me that. They were like, dude, we're finding stuff that I know you don't know exists, and they're going to digitize all that and give it to me for me to have. But this show is going to be a lot for people to take in.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I saw a question in the YouTube chat, and I apologize. I missed your name. This is all kind of tying back to Wyatt, because you're saying like he races dirt, and that was kind of his scene. They want to know, how come you never really hit the dirt world or race dirt?
I did start in Legends cars on dirt. There was I ran over it. Excuse me. I ran over at Talladega Short Track once.
Mm.
I had a lot of problems with my carburetors or my engine that night, but and we had there was a little dirt track on the backside of the Charlotte Motor Speedway off of turn 3. And we ran there like every other week. We'd run on the front straightaway on the quarter mile, and then the next week we'd run the dirt track. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of dirt track racing going on around our area. There was, the tracks that are going on now were going on then, Lincoln and a couple other places. So there was places you could go run dirt, but asphalt was where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the NASCAR series. So dirt was like in my mind, going to dirt race was going to prolong my path or add time to my path. Right. And that's the way I thought about it. And so I never really got into it and really have no true dirt experience outside of that little bit of Legends car racing I did.
Yeah, absolutely. This next question coming from Ray. We teased that Carl Edwards is going to be on the show, the guest show. People are really excited about that.
Yeah.
So what are you most looking to learn from that interview and talk to him about?
I just hope Carl's ready to talk about everything. You know, I don't, I haven't really watched a lot of interviews that he's done over the last couple of years. And I know he's pretty much a private guy to an extent. Now with the Hall of Fame induction, he's had to kind of come out of that shell a little bit to come and be here and accept that award. And now he's going to get into broadcasting. So he's sort of turned some corner to where he's a little more open to, sharing himself and his family, where he had been super private for so long. So I don't know what we're going to get when we start this conversation. I'm going to just dive right in. There's a lot of things that happened in his career that there's some great things, but there's some also not so great moments that might be tough for him to relive or discuss or share or open up about, but we'll see. I've always appreciated Carl. I'll say that. You know, we had some ups and downs in during our career, but I always appreciated Carl, respected his ability, incredible driver. Felt like that he was absolutely robbed of a championship in Homestead that year. And can't wait to dive into some of those moments that, shaped the end of his career and how he dealt with that. And so, yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be I got a lot of notes to get to. And I want to know what was going on with him and Matt when he made Matt flinch at the pit wall at Martinsville. Like, what were y'all doing? What was the argument about? I don't even know what they were mad at. And they were teammates.
Yeah.
Right? Why were they not getting along? Right?
Well, how do you get that Carl? And then the Carl at Homestead that shakes the guy's hand as the crew chief just wrecked us. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah.
Well, he even said in his Hall of Fame speech how intense of a teammate he was. So that would be, certainly would be interesting to talk about. Yeah.
I mean, he described himself at points in his career as not such a great guy, you know?
Right.
And so let's see what he meant by that. And I mean, I don't know that we need to, make this uncomfortable for him, but there are some moments. I definitely want to talk to him about Michigan, where I wrecked him off turn 2 and go relive that and him coming to victory lane and all that mess. And we'll see if we can have some fun. The story about how I met his dad, we've told that story before, but there's a front end to that's never been told. And so that'll be kind of fun to share and see if he remembers it the way I do.
What was it like racing against Carl?
Carl, for the most part, was absolutely a clean racer.
For sure.
Now he if you pushed him a bit too far, he could be physical. But for the most, you would expect when you raced Carl that he was going to run you hard and clean. And he was hard. He was fast. Just, he got more out of the Roush stuff than I think most people would have. He overachieved in that stuff. Probably kept Roush more competitive because of his own ability than someone else in that car would have. Because I feel like when he left Roush, that's really when the team started to struggle. And Biffle and those guys couldn't keep it elevated the way they could when Carl was part of it. And so I was actually really nervous when he went to Gibbs. I thought, damn, man, he's going to be I felt like when he got to Gibbs, it was going to be kind of like Harvick and Rodney that first year as HR. It was just like flew onto the scene and just won a ton. Mm-hmm. But, should be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it should be awesome. That is a good place to wrap Ash Jr. I saw a lot of great questions, and I have 2 pages full of questions that we haven't gotten to yet. So if you haven't heard your question, stay tuned for the next couple Ash Juniors. But good place to wrap it today.
All right, Xfinity Mobile customers get exclusive access to the most powerful Wi-Fi network on the go with speeds up to a gig for NASCAR fans. That means fast downloads for turn-by-turn action, smooth live streaming with fewer pit stops, and a strong connection from the parking lot to the grandstands. Thank you, Xfinity Mobile, proud premier partner of NASCAR. Thank you all for tuning in today, and hope everybody enjoys the show. Me and TJ dive into how I beat him in the NCAA championship game. And then we also talked a lot about Phoenix and Fontana. You want to listen to our take on Fontana and the option tire, a lot of good stuff.
And Dale winning national championship.
And me winning that championship. Yep.
We get it.
All right.